On the previous episode, I told you that happiness doesn't matter. Today, I'm telling you that happiness is the only thing that matters. Hey, I'm Lucas Scrobot, and you're listening to Weaver and Loom. That's right. Happiness is the only thing that matters. You're like, what? I thought just yesterday you said that happiness doesn't matter, but we need to pursue wisdom and not pursue happiness. We need to pursue a structured life full of wisdom where we seek and search it out. And that is the thing that will lead us to true happiness, to true joy. Yes, absolutely. What I said yesterday still stands. But what I'm saying today is a little bit of a variation. A lot of people believe that happiness is an emotional byproduct of circumstance. For example, you get married. I'm now happy because I'm married. I have kids. I'm now happy because I have kids. Or I'm finally in the job that I want. I'm happy because of the circumstance of my job. I got the house, I got the car, I am now happy. That happiness is this byproduct of reaching a goal, reaching a milestone or achievement point, something shifting in your life, an exterior circumstance or an exterior reality that then produces an interior state of being or emotion. That would be happiness or joy. I recently heard someone make the argument that, like I am, saying that, well, it's not the exterior achievements that create it, but it's the process, that it is setting goals that are not small and mundane, but trying to achieve great things. That would be, for instance, instead of saying, well, I'm just going to do the bare minimum today, I'm going to check off this list. It's about dreaming and pursuing something that's so much larger than yourself. Essentially, this person was arguing that having a greater vision for your life beyond your daily tasks, but having a vision that's bigger than yourself, that is the thing that will produce success and happiness and fulfillment in your life. And I can understand where that person's coming from, and yet I would still disagree. Happiness is a choice. Joy is a choice. Thanksgiving, gratefulness, it is a choice that is made regardless of the circumstances that you might find yourself in. For example, I can wake up this morning and everything can go wrong. My phone can crash, I can get in an accident on the way to work, and then my house can burn down. In that instance, I have a choice in my interior world because I'm an individual that has control over myself. I have self-control. I can choose to be happy or I can choose to be sad. I can choose to complain or I can choose to be grateful for what I do have. Now, what I'm not saying is don't have emotions, be a robot, neglect any sort of sadness or sorrow or grief, ignore it, pretend it doesn't exist, live in an illusion, live in a delusion, live disconnected from reality. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that when we are faced with hardships in our life, when we are faced with circumstances that are not what we want them to be, we can still turn towards thanksgiving. Nishkurak Allah fi kul hal. We can still turn towards gratefulness. We can still turn and be grateful for the things that we have around us. And choose a state of joy and happiness in our interior world, because that is what we have control over. We do not have control over exterior circumstances. We do not have control over what we achieve or don't achieve. To an extent, we do not even have control over what we choose to pursue or not choose to pursue. Because you and I could get in an accident tomorrow or today, and we could be paralyzed for the rest of our life. So what about that person that is paralyzed from the neck down for the rest of their life? Do they have, maybe they were a runner, do they have the choice to be able to pursue that? No, but they still have the choice to maintain the integrity in their interior world, the domain that they do have control over. That is their thoughts, their emotions, because our thoughts, there's the cognitive behavioral therapy that tells us that our thoughts produces our emotions produce our actions. Then there's Lao Tzu, who said that guard your thoughts because your thoughts produce your actions produce behavior, behaviors produce habits, and habits produce your destiny, or habits become your destiny. So we have control over the thoughts that we think. We have control over the emotions that we feel based on deciding and choosing to order our life in a way that says, I am going to choose to be happy. Regardless of circumstance, I'm going to choose to live a life of gratefulness and thankfulness and gratitude. When I was asked the question a couple days ago, I thought of this as well, which is joy is not something that is a byproduct, or happiness is not a byproduct of circumstance, but is a byproduct of choice. You and I have the ability to choose to be happy. This morning, I woke up and I just felt off. Things were not clicking for me today. But I had to take time, put myself in timeout, if you will. And I had to forcibly use my muscle of gratefulness and thankfulness to reorder my mind and my emotions back into alignment with gratitude and thankfulness to get out of my funk. And that was a choice that each one of us have to make every day, in every circumstance. So, in closing, happiness and joy is the only thing that matters. In fact, if we choose not to live in joy, then that is going against wisdom. We talked about wisdom before. If we choose to grumble in our hearts, our lives will begin down a downward spiral. And it's actually counter to what wisdom would say and what wisdom would teach us, which teaches us and says, don't grumble in your heart, but instead be thankful, have gratitude in your heart, and be thankful with your mouth. And that is what leads us into a place of a truly rich life, a life truly full of purpose and destiny and meaning, where we can see and understand and know what the destiny of our lives are. So thank you for listening to this episode of Weaver and Loom. If you found this helpful, please share it with one other person that is desperately needing to be happy as well today. And if you have any questions, I would love to hear them. You can send them to me at my website, lucasskrobot.com, where you can click a little link and leave a message for me, and or ask me a question on email or Instagram or WhatsApp. I would love to hear from you. And as always, here at Weaver and Loom, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you for listening to Weaver and Loom, where destiny is woven.